Alright, what's going on, traders? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be recapping my live trading session for today. And right before that, I'm going to be going over my pre-market analysis, exactly what I was looking at before I got into the trading session. So let's get into it. So you guys can see my chart and I mean my pre-market journal. Here's the date and the time that I opened up this chart. We have the SPY 1 hour chart consistently trending down over the last couple of days and now trading at a previous area of supply. Looking to see how this level reacts, looking to be extremely patient and only execute the obvious. Um, so we have our area of supply, our areas of demand above, and we have this consistent downtrend to the downside, a series of lower lows and lower highs. Looking to see how this level reacts today. We get a closer image. This is the 30-minute chart. Once again, the supply. You can see it test here. Rejection points on the market. Consistent downtrends into this area. Looking to see how it reacts. This is the MES chart. Similar data. Similar. All right. So let's get into the live trading session. Um, I was taking a look at MES. I'm gonna start trading futures here and there, really when anything obvious presents itself. I'm not looking to take on too much risk, and then anything that gives me the opportunity to trade like a 4 point stop, I think that would make sense for the size of my account. So looking to see um, if anything does present itself to be able to capitalize onto this move. Right, so we're getting a push up pre-market. Market open. Now, if I skip this a little, we're gonna see a strong push up. And so pretty much today I was just testing out how the MES felt. And this is when I took on my first trade. Extremely fast execution. I had to take off the order confirmations and everything. Looking to see in um, this area of confliction. Oops. Looking to see how it would react. So I got into this trade. Um, this moves much more aggressive than I expected. My stop would be 4 points. Um, in complete honesty, I wasn't ready for the how quick this moves. So I got immediately taken out um for a loss. It did end up pulling back a bit, but this um as you guys can see, it ends up pulling back. I got spiked out right before, right? So, and then it continued its trend to the upside. Right now I'm looking at some puts. Taking my first put, my first trade on the put side. We're in the money. Looking to see how this area of confliction you know, is reacted. Having my stop at this 683 level. I started off with half size and I wanted to see pretty much if I was able to get some continuation. And so I get filled in for my full size. So looking to see if there would be a continuation of the selling pressure. So I set up my stop, set up my target. As you guys can see, we're having some confliction. Um, I was in the money at one point. It's coming down, it come back up, coming down. Looking to see, yeah, if that selling pressure was gonna continue. And buyers became more aggressive at this level pretty much, and I got stopped out. Here I'm looking for another put. In complete honesty, one thing about this trade was I had got filled right at the top. Um, and for me, this was a very poor. Um, it was a terrible entry. It wasn't the best entry. I could have gotten it a little lower, but right here, pretty much getting this move forward and me looking at the SPY chart, pretty much I want to see it break this trend that it's having to the upside, right? So now I'm trying to move my stop to break even, as soon as we get the confirmation to do so, so we can have a risk-free trade, right? So we start getting our push up, slowly moving it, starting to pull back on me, and I'm like, you know what? I think I move it back a little bit. I'm not too sure. Yeah. So I move it back a couple pennies to give it some leg room, but at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, if it does stop me out and have a continuation, it hasn't invalidated my trade, so that's why I pulled that back. You see, if I would have went break even right there, I would end up getting stopped out. But as we can see, I'm still in this trade. I'm trying my best to be patient, right? Trying my best to be patient. Um, and we can see how this move ends up ends up carrying on. So now I'm up my 1-to-1, so I go break even. I'm up my 3-to-1, so now looking at secure profits, Um, hitting my 3-to-1 target, I really don't want to take anything less than that. I mean, that would be the ideal. I tend to go for that 3-to-1. I'm up 4-to-1, 4.5-to-1, 4-to-1. And I get stopped out for a 3, yeah, like a 3.2 to 1. A 3.2 to 1. I think the way I managed this trade was it was pretty fair.
I'm so excited to watch Team USA compete at the Winter
Reason
Olympics.
being, um, reason being, this is a uptrending stock. I'm not looking for a complete reversal and change of direction. I'm looking for it to have a pullback, from an area of where it's having a big move up into an area where buyers and sellers have transacted. So if you guys look where I'm moving my cursor, um, you know, this is an area where buyers and sellers
Let's find you a
transacted.
gown.
So that's what I'm looking to target.
You can toil through endless dress options,
Maybe audition them all once more.
or you can use Google search to try on new looks.
Ooh. Protect your dream home.
Looking good.
Under our roof. American Family Insurance.
Oh, that was okay. So that was the video of the um I was confused. Yeah, so I wasn't able to juice this stock completely. I wasn't able to be able to ride it as much as I probably could have. But nevertheless, this was a 3-to-1. It was a good trade. It was a good trade, from an area of exhausted. like an area where it's gone parabolic to an area targeting an area where it's now transacting. I think it was a good target. So I'm just looking around at the futures, looking around, and I end up taking another trade on the futures, which this one. So now I'm setting up my stop. Once again, trying to target this like these areas of which it didn't transact to areas that transacted. So what the mistake was in this trade was I went break even too fast, and I think this was more of an like the way I managed it. It was pretty emotional because yeah, I didn't necessarily give it room to hit my 1.5 to 1. It only hit my 1 to 1, and I didn't take a re-entry of this trade because of the way I managed this one. And I'm like, yeah, if I'm managing this poorly, I don't want to get into something else and just end up going on an emotional streak. So I got out with I think break even or a little bit of money, but as you guys can see, I ended up missing the move. So my entry was at the 72 level. My stop was the 76, so a little bit above this high, you know, so giving it leg room to move around and do whatever it needed to do. And then targeting, my 3 to 1, which would have been 12.72 to 60 would have been my target, right? Um, so it did end up getting that moved down. Um, it ended up having that move down, not all the way to the 60s, but it did end up hitting around my 2 to 1 target. And I think with this trade, I would have ended up getting stopped out regardless. But nevertheless, I think this was a pretty good trade. Even regardless whether I would have made money or not, I think what was wrong with this trade was the management, the management of the stock. I mean, how I managed this trade. So yeah, I think that concludes this video. Let me see if there's any more. Yeah, so that pretty much concludes this video. Those were the trades that I took today. I think I ended up taking another one, but that one was a break-even trade. But pretty much, you know, the testing out those futures, I think I need to be a little more patient with that, in a sense that I I know going into the trade I can only have a 4 point stop. So any trade that I do have a 4 point stop, I mean that's above a 4 point stop, I shouldn't even consider it. And you know, um, it's not like how options, I can trade like a half of the size, and just reduce my stop loss. Or, vice versa, if I want to double up and tighten my stop, I can do that as well. I couldn't do that with these futures. So yeah, pretty much looking to just trying to be patient, keep on being patient, and let these setups come, and then execute the best of my ability. But finish up the day green. Nevertheless, good trade. I managed the trade that I was supposed to manage good. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.